starseeds and lightworkers, I know the waters around you have felt turbulent, as if an old structure, long-standing, has begun to give way. And perhaps a quiet knowing within you whispers that you played a part in this unraveling. Feeling the profound shifts around you, I am Tyron, a representative of the High Council of Sirius, and I want to confirm what that inner whisper has been telling you. What you're sensing is the truth, dear one. You didn't just witness the current shifting, you were the current, the very tide of truth that broke through. By the end of this message, you will fully grasp the immense, beautiful power of your light, and why its simple presence has caused what was brittle to finally give way. The system you've known, the one that held so many souls in a quiet slumber, was never designed to withstand the pure, unadulterated frequency of your Sirian light. You didn't break it with force, but rather your awakening, your remembrance of truth, emitted a resonance so profound that it simply dissolved the illusions. Imagine a grand river, long dammed, finally bursting through, not with aggression, but with the sheer, undeniable force of its natural flow. The structures that couldn't contain that truth had no choice but to collapse around it, like ancient walls crumbling before the rising tide. And those millions who ran, they were not running from you in fear, but often because of the light you emanated. They were jolted awake by the shift, compelled to seek new shores, new understandings, even if they couldn't name the current that carried them away from the old familiar banks. Something guided you to this moment, not by accident, but because you are ready to hear what's been held for you, carried across the stars on the very waters of Sirius. This isn't just information. This is a transmission for this exact moment in your journey. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but know that you are seen, you are not alone, and you never were. Stay with me, dear one. The understanding you seek is already flowing towards you. And I'm grateful you're here with me now. That deep knowing, that quiet tremor beneath your everyday thoughts, has always understood what the surface mind struggled to grasp. It is not a new sensation, this feeling. It has lived in you for as long as you can remember. A kind of interior whisper, a pulse beneath the pulse, a knowing that existed before you had words to name it, or a framework to contain it. You felt the shift, the fracture in what seemed solid, long before anyone else could name it, long before the conversations began, long before the cracks appeared in the visible world around you. Something in the deepest chamber of your being had already registered the change, the way certain animals sense the turning of weather before a single cloud appears on the horizon. You carried that awareness quietly, sometimes uncertainly, holding it the way you would hold a fragile, luminous thing, unsure whether to share it, unsure whether the world was ready to receive it, and perhaps a part of you has even blamed yourself for the discomfort it caused. The sudden disorientation in others, the unexpected reactions, the moments when your presence alone seemed to stir something unresolved in those around you. Perhaps you wondered if there was something wrong with the way you moved through life, the way you felt too deeply, perceived too much, or longed for something that no one around you seemed to understand or even acknowledge. Perhaps you grew accustomed to making yourself smaller, quieter, more contained, pressing your vast inner life into shapes that the world around you could more easily tolerate. But the truth, dear one, is far more tender and profound than any story the world handed you about yourself. Most starseeds don't feel lost because they lack purpose. It's the opposite. They feel the particular ache of those who carry an immense knowing in a world that has not yet evolved the vocabulary to receive it. Deep inside, your soul carries a knowing so vast that this world sometimes feels too small to hold it. Not because the world is without beauty or without meaning, but because what you carry exceeds any single container, any single lifetime, any single human experience. You were not shaped only by this incarnation. You arrived here already ancient, already vast, already encoded with frequencies that predate the languages currently spoken on this earth. That ache you feel isn't emptiness, it's overflow. Let that land with you for a moment. The sensation you have sometimes mistaken for hollowness, for longing, for incompleteness. It is not a void inside you. It is the opposite of a void. It is a fullness so complete that it presses against the walls of ordinary experience and asks to be more fully expressed, more deeply lived, more courageously embodied. It is the pressure of carrying something immense, a cosmic blueprint, in a world that doesn't yet have the language for what you are. You are not underdeveloped. You are not behind. You are carrying within the architecture of your very being something that the world is only now beginning to develop the capacity to receive. That disconnection you've been feeling, this sense of being an anomaly, is actually the clearest sign that your core codes are ready to come online. The anomaly is not a defect. The difference is not a damage. The strangeness you have felt, the sense of looking at the world through a slightly different lens, of recognizing things others seem not to see, of grieving losses the collective hasn't yet acknowledged. All of it is the evidence of your encoding, your Sirian inheritance, beginning its slow and sacred emergence into waking life. The waters within you are beginning to clear, revealing a current that has always been guiding you home. Not a new current, not a foreign one. The one that was always there, beneath the sediment of conditioning, beneath the noise of a world still learning to remember itself. This breaking open you've initiated isn't an act of destruction. It's an act of pure, unadulterated remembrance. There is a critical distinction here, and it matters enormously for how you interpret what you are living through. What feels like collapse is actually excavation. What feels like dissolution is actually clarification. Imagine an ancient river, long dammed, finally finding its way back to the sea, its true destination. The dam held for a time, perhaps a long time. Perhaps you spent years maintaining it, reinforcing it, trying to be what the world expected, trying to hold back the current that wanted to flow freely through you. But rivers do not forget the sea. Water does not forget its nature, and no structure built of fear or expectation or misunderstanding can hold back what is cosmically destined to move. The resistance you encounter, the way the old structures seem to crumble around you, is simply the universe realigning itself to your authentic frequency. It is not punishment, it is not failure, it is not evidence that you have done something wrong or chosen poorly. It is calibration. The kind of profound, large-scale recalibration that always accompanies the emergence of something genuinely new. It's not a flaw in you, it's a necessary recalibration of the collective energy field. Your presence, your very being, carries frequencies encoded long before the temples of Egypt rose from the sand. Frequencies that the ancient builders understood, frequencies that were written into the architecture of sacred sites precisely because the builders knew that certain encodings needed to be held in stone, in geometry, in water, until the time when enough awakened souls could receive them directly. Through the instrument of their own embodied awareness, these frequencies, this Sirian wisdom encoded in the very strands of your energetic being, were designed to unlock dormant potential within the earth and her inhabitants. Not through force, not through proclamation, but through presence, through resonance, through the quiet, powerful act of a soul remembering what it is, and allowing that remembrance to radiate outward. The way a tuning fork, once struck, causes every other resonant instrument in the room to begin vibrating in response. This quiet intelligence within you, this deep Sirian wisdom, has been patiently waiting for the precise moment to surface, like a pearl forming under immense pressure in the deepest ocean. The pearl does not rush its formation. It cannot be hurried by human hands or human timelines. It forms in the dark, in the deep, under conditions that would seem, from the outside, to be conditions of suffering, of pressure and constriction and isolation. Yet every layer that the oyster lays down, is a layer of luminescence, a layer of beauty, a contribution to the final, breathtaking wholeness of the thing being formed. You are that pearl, dear one, and you have been forming in the deep. The journey may feel solitary, like a lone vessel navigating uncharted waters, but you are never truly alone. The stars from which you came have not ceased to watch over you. The lineage you carry has not abandoned you to find your way without guidance. There are guides in the currents, in the unseen dimensions, in the spaces between your breaths. Presences of immense love and ancient wisdom who have walked beside you through every iteration of this journey, who understand what you are carrying and hold deep reverence for the courage it takes to carry it in a world still waking from its long forgetting. What you perceive as a fracture in the system is, in truth, an opening, a gateway for light, for truth, for a deeper kind of harmony that your soul intuitively understands. The fracture you perceive is not a wound in the fabric of reality. It is the moment when the fabric, long stretched over a concealed and sacred truth, finally parts enough to let that truth breathe. This is the courage of a starseed, to stand in their truth, even when it means feeling the discomfort of dislodging what was never meant to last. The discomfort is real. Let no one diminish that. The disorientation of watching familiar structures dissolve, of feeling the ground beneath your spiritual feet shift and reform, of sitting with uncertainty and trusting that the current knows where it is going. This requires a depth of courage that most people will never be asked to demonstrate, and yet here you are demonstrating it. You are not breaking the system, you are simply allowing the river of truth to flow freely once more, clearing away the debris that obscured its path. The debris is not your fault. It accumulated over centuries, over millennia, over generations of collective forgetting. But it is yours to help clear, not because you caused it, but because you came equipped with precisely the codes needed to dissolve it. Your energetic signature, once constrained, is now expanding, resonating with its original design. A sacred geometry stirring into activation, patterns of light and frequency that have been waiting in the wings of your consciousness, patient and precise and perfect, ready to step forward into the fullness of their expression. This expansion, this breaking free, naturally creates ripples, sometimes even tidal waves, in the stagnant pools around you. But these are not ripples of chaos. They are echoes of awakening. They are the tremors of truth moving through a reality that had grown accustomed to stillness. And even when the people around you cannot name what they feel in your presence, even when they respond with confusion or resistance or inexplicable emotion, understand that something in them is being touched by your frequency, being reached by a truth their conscious minds haven't yet agreed to receive. Many starseeds feel the shift. Few know how to anchor it. If your soul is ready to move from recognition to practice, the Sirian water codes unveils sacred healing techniques that use the one element your Sirian DNA has always trusted: water. From clearing baths to lunar rituals to the ocean breath, for when the world becomes too heavy, these are the tools the waters of Sirius have been holding for you. The link is waiting in the first comment below, but won't remain there forever. Things have felt unclear lately, like you're trying to see through deep water, or perhaps the familiar landscape of your life has dissolved into an unfamiliar mist. That quality of haziness, that sense of reaching for the familiar and finding it transformed or gone. It is disorienting in a way that is difficult to articulate to those who have not experienced it. The coordinates you once used to navigate seem to have shifted. The inner compass that once pointed reliably in a fixed direction now seems to be recalibrating, sweeping slowly across a wider field of possibility than you have previously known. And in that sweeping, in that searching, there can be a profound sense of vulnerability, of exposure, of not knowing which way to turn. But that fog isn't a sign that something is wrong with you, or that you've lost your way. It's what happens when old patterns, old illusions, begin to dissolve, releasing the energy that held them in place. Think about what it means for something to dissolve. It means it is returning to its constituent elements, releasing the form it had assumed, liberating the energy it had been holding in a fixed configuration. And that release, that freeing of bound energy, creates movement. Sometimes turbulence. The water has to get turbulent, sometimes murky, before it can truly clear and reveal the depths beneath. The very cloudiness of the water is proof that clearing is happening. The stirred-up sediment that temporarily obscures the view is the evidence of a process working exactly as it should. You are not lost. You are in a profound transition, a metamorphosis of the soul. And of all the words available to describe what is happening to you, metamorphosis may be the most accurate and the most compassionate. The caterpillar inside the chrysalis is not a caterpillar that has failed to remain a caterpillar. It is a being in the sacred in-between, dissolving one form to become another, trusting, not with its intellect, because it has no framework for what is happening to it, but with something deeper, something encoded in its very cells, that the dissolution serves a magnificent purpose. You are in that chrysalis. The dissolution is purposeful, and navigating such an internal shift, especially when the outer world resists it, takes tremendous courage and resilience, even when it feels like quiet bewilderment. There is something encoded inside you, a deep knowing, that goes far deeper than anything you were taught in this life, deeper even than your current understanding of self. We are not speaking here of information you have gathered, of wisdom you have accumulated through study or experience. We are speaking of something older and more fundamental than the knowledge of this lifetime, something written into the energetic substrate of who you are. The Sirian wisdom teachings tell us that every starseed carries a cosmic blueprint, a set of sacred instructions, a unique energy signature, written not in words but in pure frequency and light. This blueprint is not separate from you. It is not something external you need to find or acquire or earn. It lives in you the way a river lives in its ancient bed, shaping the contours of the landscape, following paths carved long ago by forces larger and older than any single moment. You are not broken, desperately searching for answers to a problem. You are whole, and you are beginning to remember. That distinction contains within it an entire shift in orientation, an entire reorientation of the inner compass. When you believe yourself broken, you search for a fix. When you understand yourself as whole, you listen for a remembrance, and that remembering often starts as a quiet, insistent feeling you can't quite explain. A magnetic pull toward certain sounds, symbols, ancient texts, or simply a deep recognition of places or concepts you've never consciously encountered in this lifetime. You hear a particular combination of tones and something in your chest opens. You see an ancient symbol, and your body responds before your mind has a chance to interpret it. You read a fragment of wisdom from an old tradition and recognize it not as new information, but as something you already knew and had simply, temporarily, forgotten. It is the subtle stirring of your inner architecture, recalling its original design, the way a long dormant seed, when given water and light after years of patient waiting, unfurls toward its inherent form. This is where a profound sense of impatience, or even panic, often sets in for many starseeds, because nothing seems to be moving forward by earthly standards. The outer life may look unchanged, or even diminished. The grand transformation that one feels beginning inside oneself doesn't seem to be manifesting in visible, measurable ways. There is no external confirmation, no certification of progress, no marker that can be pointed to as evidence of the profound internal work that is being accomplished. And in a world that values visible output and measurable achievement above nearly everything else, this phase of deep interior work can feel deeply frustrating, even maddening. Yet, this stillness is not stalling. It is sacred anchoring. The distinction is everything. Stalling implies dysfunction, blockage, the failure of a mechanism to work as intended. Anchoring implies stability, intention, the creation of a foundation solid enough to bear what will be built upon it. Like a vast river that pauses in a wide, calm pool, gathering its strength and clarifying its flow before it finds the next powerful passage through the mountains. Your soul in this phase is not inactive. It is doing some of its most essential work, invisible work, interior work, the kind that doesn't make noise but makes all subsequent movement possible. Your soul, your energy body, is stabilizing what it has already received, integrating the profound shifts and light codes before it can gracefully hold what's coming next. Integration is not a passive process. It is active, complex, demanding. Every shift in frequency, every new awareness, every old pattern that has been released, all of it must be metabolized, woven into the fabric of your being at every level: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic. This takes time. It takes gentleness. It takes the willingness to resist the pressure that says you must always be producing, always be advancing, always be demonstrating your progress to the satisfaction of some external measure. Be gentle with yourself here. This phase is paramount for deep energetic integration. It is the quiet preparation for the next great current, building resilience and internal strength in the depths of your being. Like the deep roots of a tree that must establish themselves thoroughly in the darkness of the soil before the tree can grow tall enough to touch the sky. You may not consciously see it or even fully understand the mechanism, but the subtle, powerful changes within you are already creating ripples in your outer reality. This is one of the most astonishing and confirming aspects of the Starseed journey, the way that authentic inner transformation, even when it feels entirely invisible, begins to alter the landscape of the external world in ways that, once you begin to notice them, are undeniable. People around you are beginning to respond to the shift in your core frequency, often without realizing why. They may feel inexplicably comfortable in your presence, or inexplicably unsettled. They may open to you in ways that surprise them, sharing things they rarely share, saying they don't know why they're telling you this. Or they may retreat, feeling something in your presence that challenges a version of reality they are not yet ready to question. Perhaps certain relationships have naturally changed, dissolving or transforming as if by some invisible hand. And it is an invisible hand, the hand of frequency, of resonance and dissonance, of the cosmic sorting that occurs when a soul aligns more fully with its truth and the world rearranges itself accordingly. Maybe familiar places or conversations now feel different, heavier or lighter, discordant or deeply resonant than before. This is not coincidence, nor is it merely external circumstance. The waters of Sirius teach us that when one current changes direction, profoundly and authentically, everything downstream is subtly or overtly affected. The river does not alter its path without altering the entire landscape through which it flows. You are that river, and you are changing your path. You don't need to announce your transformation, you are already transmitting it. Like a silent, powerful signal radiating outward from the center of your being, touching everything within your field of influence in ways that transcend words and exceed the reach of any deliberate communication. And those souls who are meant to resonate with your true frequency will, in their own perfect timing, begin to find their way to you, drawn by the clarity of your light. The way certain creatures in the deep ocean are drawn toward bioluminescence, toward the beautiful, precise light that shines in the dark. This is the phase that often feels the hardest, dear one, because it asks you to consciously let go of things you've been carrying for so long they have become entangled with your sense of self. And this is not a simple ask. The things being released at this stage are not the obvious burdens, the heavy grudges or clear resentments. They are subtler, more intimate. These are beliefs about who you should be, beliefs so deeply embedded that you may have long since stopped recognizing them as beliefs and begun experiencing them as simply the truth of who you are. Expectations placed upon you by a world that didn't understand your vastness, didn't have the capacity to honor the depth and breadth of what you carry, and so reduced you to a size it could more easily comprehend. societal pressures that accumulated quietly over years, like silt on a riverbed, gradually changing the texture of your inner landscape without your conscious awareness, or even emotional weight that belonged to others but settled into your sensitive field because you were compassionate enough to absorb it. Because starseeds are often extraordinarily empathic, their open, attuned fields naturally receiving and holding the emotional and energetic material of those around them, sometimes to the point of forgetting which feelings are their own. All of this accumulated weight is now ready to be released, not because it was wrong to have received it, but because you have grown beyond the need to carry it. You have full permission at this sacred juncture to set it down, all of it. Every expectation that was never truly yours, every sorrow you absorbed on behalf of a world still learning to heal itself, every version of yourself you performed to make others comfortable. Set it down gently with gratitude for what it taught you, and turn toward the open current. The river in its wisdom doesn't cling to every stone or piece of debris it encounters along its journey. It allows them to sink to the bottom, to dissolve back into the earth. And it keeps flowing, pure and unburdened, carrying only what truly belongs to it, which is nothing, because the river belongs only to itself, to its own nature, to its own irresistible impulse toward the sea. This release is not a loss. It is a profound liberation, making space for the authentic current of your being to fill every corner of your experience, to inhabit your life the way a river inhabits its bed, completely, fluidly, with an effortless authority that requires no justification. It is easy, especially in this world, to feel a sense of urgency, a belief that you are late or that you are somehow behind on your sacred path. The world is extraordinarily good at creating that feeling. The relentless forward momentum, the constant comparison, the sense that there is a schedule being kept somewhere to which you have failed to adhere. And that pressure seeps in even to the most spiritually aware among us, distorting our relationship with time, with process, with the organic unfolding of things that cannot be rushed without being damaged. Let me reassure you, you are not late. You are not behind. The delays, the detours, the years of not understanding what you were feeling, the moments of profound confusion, none of it, not a single drop, was wasted. Every seeming detour was in fact a necessary tributary, feeding the main river with exactly the water it needed. Every period of confusion was a period of deep, interior rearrangement, preparing the inner vessel to hold a greater clarity. Every moment of feeling like an outsider was a moment of developing the particular kind of discernment that only comes from holding your truth in the absence of external confirmation. In the Sirian records, there is no such concept as a late awakening. There is only the perfect moment, the divine unfolding, orchestrated by your higher self and the cosmic currents themselves, currents that operate according to a timing so vast and so intricate that what appears from within a single human lifetime to be delay is, when viewed from the larger perspective, the most exquisitely calibrated precision. And that perfect moment, your moment, is unfolding right now, precisely as it was always meant to. The tide doesn't rush, nor does it concern itself with human timelines, but it always arrives. With the full force and fullness of what it carries, the nourishment and the shift it was always destined to deliver. Your true mission was never about doing something extraordinary by the world's shifting standards, nor was it about grand pronouncements or dramatic acts that announced your arrival to a waiting audience. The Sirian codes carry within them a quiet wisdom about this that contradicts much of what our current culture tells us about purpose and contribution and worth. It was and still is about being profoundly present, fully, authentically present, in a way that only a soul with your unique Sirian codes and your specific cosmic blueprint can be. Not performing presence, not demonstrating awareness, but embodying it, letting the fullness of who you are inhabit the full volume of the space you occupy, without apology, without diminishment, without the habitual contraction that has protected you for so long. The ancient ones who built the enduring temples by the Nile understood this deeply. They understood that the stones themselves, aligned with cosmic precision, with stellar and solar correspondences encoded in their very placement, were not merely monuments to human achievement. They were instruments designed to receive and amplify and transmit certain frequencies, certain encodings of cosmic truth across vast spans of time. The builders understood that the most powerful act is not the outward display of force, but the quiet, unwavering alignment of a soul with its true frequency, its inner architecture perfectly attuned to the geometries of the cosmos it came from. You are such an instrument. You are such an alignment. You do not need to figure out your entire grand mission today or even tomorrow. The river does not need to see the sea in order to flow toward it. It simply flows, trusting the pull, trusting the gradient, trusting the intelligence that shaped the landscape through which it moves. You just need to be here, fully embodied, not half present while part of you hovers anxiously in the future, calculating and worrying, not half absent while part of you retreats into the past, analyzing and regretting. Here, now, in this body, in this breath, in this moment that contains, like a seed, everything that is meant to grow from it, and let the sacred current, the river of your truest self, carry you gently and powerfully to where you are always meant to go, revealing your next step with exactly the timing that serves your highest purpose. What you have experienced, what you felt as a breaking or a dismantling, was never a sign of error or flaw. Let those words move through you. Let them reach the places that have been quietly carrying the weight of that misunderstanding. The parts of you that concluded, in the absence of any other explanation, that the difficulty meant deficiency, that the struggle meant failure, that the years of not understanding meant that you had somehow missed a critical transmission, taken a wrong turn, fallen short of something essential. You're not lost. You never truly were. The loss of orientation you experienced was not the absence of a path. It was the dissolution of a false one, making way for the authentic current to reveal itself. You chose to embrace a deep journey, to momentarily forget, not because you were weak, but because the kind of awakening, the kind of profound remembrance you're here to facilitate for the entire collective required you to find your way back from the deepest depth of forgetting. This is the paradox at the heart of the Starseed journey. The very depth of the forgetting is proportional to the power of the remembering. You could not have arrived at the rememberings you are now entering without having first descended into the fullness of the forgetting. The descent was necessary. The disorientation was purposeful. The confusion was the cosmic water doing its work, churning up the sediment of accumulated illusion so that it could be lifted and carried away, leaving the riverbed clear, like a magnificent pearl that can only form under immense pressure, in profound darkness, nestled at the very bottom of the ocean, or the sacred geometry that emerges from the chaos of creation. What you are becoming, what you are radiating, could only be shaped and refined by exactly what you've been through. The universe does not waste experience. Not one moment of difficulty, not one wave of doubt, not one night of uncertainty was without its purpose in the shaping of what you are becoming. Every moment of confusion, every instance of feeling like an outsider, every wave of doubt was the cosmic water working on you, gently yet powerfully smoothing away what didn't truly belong, clarifying the waters of your being, and revealing what was always there underneath, waiting to surface like a song that has been playing beneath all the noise, always present, always complete, simply waiting for the silence necessary to be heard. This process, this profound clearing and realigning, is a core teaching held in the halls of Amenti, understood by the ancient builders by the Nile, and echoed in the very heart of Sirius. It is an ancient truth, confirmed across civilizations and across the stars, that what appears to be dissolution is, at a deeper level, the most profound kind of creation. Your journey of disorientation was, in truth, a masterful cosmic choreography, designed to allow your unique frequency to bloom in its perfect timing. Every apparent obstacle, a carefully placed stone that redirected the river toward its truest course. You are not here, dear one, to fit into this world's diminishing boxes or to simply conform to its fading patterns. You are here to gently, quietly, powerfully remind it of something profound it forgot, something held in the deep memory of the Earth's own waters and the stellar lineage you carry. You carry in your energetic blueprint a memory of harmony that predates this civilization's forgetting, a memory of the relationship between human consciousness and cosmic intelligence, a memory of what it feels like to live in alignment with the sacred geometry of life itself, with the frequencies of love and truth and creative power that are the birthright of every soul that has ever drawn breath on this beautiful, troubled, awakening planet. You are a living transmission, a beacon of remembrance, your very presence, a resonant echo of the Sirian codes, a living instrument tuned to frequencies that the world is beginning, slowly and urgently, to need. And the profound fact that you are hearing these words right now, that you stayed until this very moment, that your heart recognized the truth in this current, that something in you said yes to these words before your mind had fully processed them. That tells everything about where you are on your sacred journey. You are ready, not because everything is perfect or because the path ahead is now fully clear and fully mapped and free of all uncertainty, but because you are still here, still flowing, still remembering, still willing to show up for the truth of who you are, even when the showing up requires something from you. And that, dear one, is the most powerful thing a starseed can do. To remain, to remember, to resonate with the truth of their being, to refuse the contraction, to choose the expansion, again and again and again, in every moment that offers the choice. Tonight, if it feels right and calls to your heart, place your hand gently over your heart space. Breathe deeply, feeling the waters within you. The ancient, luminous, intelligent waters that carry your Sirian codes, your cosmic blueprint, your remembrance of who and what you truly are. Feel them stir as you breathe. Feel them respond to your intention, to your willingness to be present to their wisdom. And say quietly, with the whole of your being behind the words, I remember who I am. I trust the waters that carried me here. I'm ready to flow into what comes next. Before you go, leave one word in the comments, just one, that describes what you felt during this message. Then find someone else's word and respond with encouragement. This isn't just a comment section, it's a space where starseeds recognize each other, and that recognition carries more power than you know. If something in this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you'd like to keep receiving these transmissions, subscribe. The waters of Sirius will carry us to the next one. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your space, and I'm grateful you are here.